with a fish.
There's 3 otters out there. One of them's eating a fish on that old submerged concrete wall.
I think
4.
there's 4.
There's a family of 4 otters, or whatever a group of otters is called.
This is amazing. I've never seen this. And then eating a fish?
Where are we? What are we doing?
We are at Deception Pass State Park in the Hoypus Forest section of the park, and we're getting ready to start the second in this spree of 4 ultras that Ross and I are running this month for diabetes awareness. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Last week we ran a loop around Baker Lake. It was great. It rained, and par for the course, it's raining again. Ross and I are running these ultras in an unsupported or self-supported fashion. So we have everything we need to get started in the packs on our back. I have all of the diabetic supplies I need in the car, and some emergency supplies with me that are in my pack. These are not in a race format. These are just routes that I have decided on that are basically local to where I live here on Whidbey Island. The wind and the falling leaves are calling our names, so let's get this party started. Number 2.
With a fish.
There's a family of 4 otters, or whatever a group of otters is called.
This is amazing. I've never seen this. And then eating a fish? Man, this is awesome. This is what it's all about. Oh, I've never seen this, and we've never come down this way. These guys are rad. Look at their tails. Smaller one. Oh, God. So why would I choose to run 4 ultras to honor diabetes awareness for this month of November? Well, I love running ultras. I love being out in places like this, and I want to show people that even when you're diagnosed with some sort of a chronic condition, and in particular, what I know about is diabetes, you can still go about your life and make the changes you need to make the alterations you need to make to go about doing what makes you happy, to prioritize that in your life. Because as a diabetic, you're injecting yourself with insulin every day. You're constantly monitoring your blood sugar numbers and watching what you eat and watching how the energy you put out contributes to what your blood sugar numbers are doing. It's constant. Even when you fall asleep at night, you have to know what your blood sugar numbers are, what they might do during the night. You can't let them drop too low in your sleep. It's really a 24/7 kind of thing. So why not prioritize happiness, health, and what you have control over? So that's one of the things I want to show people. The other thing is I'm just a goal setter. That's what I do. I'm driven by setting goals, by being out in places like this and being inspired to do some sort of an endurance challenge, getting it on paper. I write it out. I meticulously take notes about how I'm going to go about that challenge and what it will entail, where I'll do it, when I'll do it, what kind of food and nutrition I'll have with me, what diabetic supplies I'll need to have with me, what layers and gear I'll need to have with me. And it's what I thrive on. And then I go out and I pursue it. And then I don't always meet those challenges, but when I do, it gives me such an amazing boost. It boosts my mental health, which as a type 1 diabetic, I have to pay attention to my mental health. It's constantly under just a little bit of minute stress. So hey, this is a great place to release that stress, and meeting challenges that I come up with is another way that I just manage my diabetic health. And I encourage others to do the same. It's healthy to move. It's healthy to get our heart beating, to breathe in what these plants, these amazing plants are giving off. Look at these old trees in here and these big, huge sword ferns and this thick carpet of moss. We're meant to interact with this life here. And so these are all reasons why I've decided that this is the challenge I'm going to take on. And I feel blessed to live in a place where I can choose from so many really cool routes. Last week we were up near Mount Baker, at the foothills of Mount Baker, running along the beautiful Baker Lake, and now we're near the sea. We're on the Strait of Juan de Fuca here in the Deception Pass State Park in Hoypus Forest, basically an old growth rainforest, and we're going to spend the day here. The goal is to reach 30 miles out here. We just saw a little school or a pod family of 4 otters. It was the most amazing thing. It just filled me with emotion. Tears just started spilling out of my eyes because it was so cool to see. I've never seen anything like it. We went to a place in the park where we've never been, and I couldn't really decide, last night or this morning exactly which of the cool places in our area we would run. And we finally chose this because we knew it'd be some protection from the weather, and those otters just really kind of sealed the deal. Ugh, I need something. I'm feeling like really flushed and hot all of a sudden, a little bit nauseated, super, super hungry. I don't think it's a low blood sugar, it's just a blood sugar fluctuation, something I commonly get. And I just have to get something in me. We're at 26.2 miles and we're heading into ultra distance.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right, nice job.
Nice work. We're done. We just finished a few minutes ago our second ultra in this Diabetes Awareness Month spree, and it was brutal. It rained a lot. We had some cool moments out there and some beautiful forest to run through, but once it got dark and it just started dumping rain and it started creating mud in the trail, I had a couple little mini meltdowns, some tears. I do think it was me needing some calories for sure. I'm super hungry right now. I haven't checked my blood sugar yet, but
it's probably low at this point. I feel super hungry, a little bit sick to my stomach, but basically physically I feel pretty well. My leg muscles aren't tired. My feet feel better than they have in the last 2 ultras we ran, because we also ran one on Halloween. I'm so grateful I can do these things and that I can recognize the feelings that I have associated with my diabetes and just take care of them. Not panic, but just deal with them. And that's what I'm about to do. Definitely the coolest experience we had today, and one of the coolest experiences we've had on the trail in a while, was seeing 4 otters when we were just getting started. I'm going to test my blood sugar here, see where it's at. Okay. Got a lancet in there, a test strip in my glucometer. I use one of these 2 fingers. This finger won't bleed and doesn't really work to do my pinky or my thumb, so let's see what it is. Little capillary action draws the blood up into this little tiny vessel in there. 116, it's not below 100. 116 is perfect, really. I'm super stoked on that. That's awesome. Last night I did half of my nighttime dose of insulin, my slow-acting insulin, the Lantus, just so that it wouldn't dip too low. I wouldn't have too much insulin circulating today. Right before a long run or when I'm out on long through hikes, I just don't use as much insulin. I haven't used any of my Novolog, my fast-acting insulin today. I didn't even have it on the trail with me because I knew I wouldn't need it. Cool.